This is the 2014 NSCAA College Soccer Preview, putting the spotlight on NAIA men's and women's soccer preseason rankings. And it comes to you right now, right here on NSCAA TV. And Grant Landy's Concordia from Oregon claimed its first women's NAIA soccer championship a year ago with a 1-0 win over Westmont, California, snapping a 3-match losing streak in the national final. And on the men's side, Martin Methodist from Tennessee claimed its first title in any men's sports with a thrilling 2-1 overtime victory over Auburn Montgomery. As we show you how Martin Methodist won it, they needed penalty kicks to knock off Ashford from Iowa in the semifinals before they took care of business against Auburn Montgomery to claim the men's NAIA National Championship. Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Linke, proud to be the voice of the NSCAA, and we welcome you to the Continental Tire Studios right here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Today, a big day as we break down NAIA men's and women's soccer. Let's show you what's on tap. We will get analysis from our college soccer insider Kyle Straub breaking down the top 25 for men and women. We'll hear from the NAIA national champion coaches, and we'll take a look at an exciting NSCAA TV college soccer broadcast schedule. Of course, this show and all the games on NSCAA are brought to you by the presenting sponsor of NSCAA TV, and that is our good friends from Continental Tire. And with that, we welcome in our college soccer insider, Kyle Straub. Great year last year for the NAIA.
Dean, it was a fantastic year. You have two first-time national champions in Martin Methodist and Concordia. And on the men's side, a game that has to go to overtime to decide who the national champion is going to be. You cannot ask for more than that from a season.
Well, Jerry Cleary, the head coach of Martin Methodist from Tennessee, leaves the program with a national championship in tow. You see right there, he also won an NAIA national title with the Martin women in 2005 and 2007. The only coach to win titles for men and women at the same school at any level in college. And he is now with our good friend Richie Grant, who left Memphis to go to CSU Bakersfield. We'll show them against San Jose State in early October right here on NSCAA TV. They didn't have to go far, though, Kyle, to find the replacement, as Chris Leonardi was the top man, the assistant coach for Coach Cleary for a couple years. He's the new head coach coming over a few seasons ago after 13 great years at the University School of Jackson. And Coach Chris Leonardi is excited about the new challenge at Martin Methodist.
Coach Leonardi, a thrilling championship last year. Talk about what this has meant to Martin Methodist College.
Martin Methodist College is an institution that really supports not only obviously academics, but athletics and arts, music. And so really to put a men's soccer program and Martin Methodist College on top of the charts really says a lot for our players, and but also like the community. The community really supported us, appreciated us, and so we're very proud to represent the Rayhawks and put them on top of the board.
Coach Cleary moves on to Cal State Bakersfield. You now move up to the top job from assistant coach. Tell us about the transition.
Transition happened in the spring when Coach Cleary left for California. I've been with these guys for 3 years, so it was kind of smooth the way we did it. I know them. Obviously went and won the title with these guys as an assistant, so you know it really happened in the spring. As far as preseason, we've been in camp for about a week now. We're done in Destin, Florida for the second part of our camp, and really it's all behind us now. We are moving forward. We're excited to be back on the field where we built so many memories that last year, and we want to build some new ones.
What are your expectations for the season? Key holes to fill, key players?
Well, we had no seniors last year, so obviously we're going to bring back the majority of our team, but that does not guarantee you for anything. We know that. We also know that the title that we won last year will never be taken away from us, and the memories will always be there. We want now to go back to work, the same way we did last year, compete in the Southern States Athletic Conference, the toughest conference in the country when it comes down to men's soccer, and go from there. We're going to take it. I know it's cliche game at a time, but that's what we did last year. And as far as the ranking, we're very, very proud of being number one preseason, but so we're more interested at the end of the season and the last ranking when it comes out.
And finally, what makes NAIA soccer so special?
I've been with the NAIA for probably over 20 years now, between my college career and coaching. I played at Lambeth University. I was an assistant here at Auburn Methodist, and now I'm the head coach here. The diversity of the players when it comes down to men's soccer in the NAIA is very special. We have some quality American players, a lot of international quality players. The top 25 NAIA teams are very, very competitive. So we're excited about it. I think our schedule has a lot of those good teams in it, and we can't wait to go back out there and go back to work, and with the right determination and the work ethics that these guys have been shown through the preseason and through the last few years. I think we're going to be okay.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the upcoming season.
Thank you.
Obviously, great for Martin Methodist to be able to look from within and promote Coach Leonardi.
It's always tough to make a coaching change, but when you're able to do it within, it makes it easier to transition for the players. Not a new system usually, and the coaches and the players already know each other. So yeah, definitely easier for a team to promote from within.
All right, Kyle, let's go to work here and break down the NAIA Top 25. And as we said, Martin Methodist went out number one, and they returned nearly all of its firepower from a team that finished last season with a 19-2-2 overall mark and an 8-2-1 league record. National championship most outstanding player and senior goalkeeper Stephen Lunny headlines the nucleus of returners for Martin Methodist, and fellow Southern State Athletics Conference member Auburn Montgomery, Alabama's at number 2.
Coming in at number 2, you mentioned them, Auburn Montgomery. They lose 2-1 in overtime last year after coming up just short in that national championship game. Wolf coach and the Warhawks still going to look to avenge that. Even though it's last year, they want to keep going forward, get back on top, and they're going to be led by NAIA second-team All-American Sebastian Wadolecki. Number 4 is the other team I'm looking at in the top 5, the Ashford Saints, led by head coach Rich Markham. The Saints earned their highest preseason ranking in school history, even receiving one first-place vote in this poll. They rely on a stifling defense that returns all 4 starters, including NAIA All-American honorable mention Fernando Machado. On the attack, the Saints will hope that the combination of the top returning goal scorer Javier Ramirez and the newcomers Adam Wood and Casey Culliver will produce enough goals to bring home the school's first national champion.
At number 6, Kyle, Hastings has a couple All-Americans.
Hastings College, the Broncos, winners of the Great Plains Athletic Conference last year, look to improve on their quarterfinal appearance in the NAIA, and like you said, a couple of All-Americans, Alec Geyer and Tyler Orbital, gonna really produce for them and run the show for the Broncos.
That's the top 10. Let's take a look at 11 through 20 for NAIA men preseason rankings.
First team I'm going to highlight is Grandview. They were picked to win the Midwest Collegiate Conference. The Vikings are going to rely on a strong defense led by 3-year captain and 2-time All-American Ross Alexander. They're also going to look to a transfer in Sam Blackman. Blackman last year was an All-American and one of the top freshmen in the country at Midland University. Another team in that top 20 that I really like is William Carey. They posted a 12-5-1 mark last year with 4 wins over top 25 schools. And in those 4 wins, they were over both of the last national champions, Belhaven, and last year, Martin Methodist. The Crusaders are hoping Danny Ebrol, who's returning from injury, didn't play last year, but they're hoping he can return to form from 2012, a season in which he had 20 goals and totaled 44 points. Number 15 is my other one in this top 20 that I really like, and it's Missouri Valley. Coming off the program's most successful season in which the Vikings went 13-5-4, and they won their first ever postseason game, hopes are really high for Missouri Valley. They do have some big shoes to fill, though. They need to replace All-Americans Miguel Jimenez and Nicholas Alexander.
You see there Thomas from Georgia, Midland, Nebraska, and St. Thomas from Texas rounding out your top 20. And when you flip to 21, Davenport comes in with a ton of experience.
Davenport, the Panthers returned 15 letter winners from a team that went 19-3 and earned their highest ranking in school history last year. They got all the way up to number 19. This year, they're going to be led by WHAC Player of the Year and NSCAA honorable mention All-American Dezen Kadek. Davenport will also be tested early, though. Their first 2 games are against 2012 national champion Belhaven and last year runner-up Auburn Montgomery.
That's your top 25. Of course, the NSCAA is all about coaches. We mentioned the job Grant Landy has done for Concordia, Oregon. When we come back, we'll hear from Grant Landy as they won it a year ago, your 2013 NAIA Women's Soccer National Champion. More right here on NSCAA TV.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at NAIA.org.
The NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to go on.
Super excited.
Pretty excited.
Oh, super excited, yes. Now I'm excited to just be a part of it and experience it all, take it all in.
You watch the match live. You road trip to the away games. You rise and fall with every run. Above all, you live your love of the game. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires and improve your grip with extreme contact traction.
Continental Tire, for what you do.
Grant Landy getting it done last year as Concordia from Oregon claimed its first women's NAIA soccer championship behind the great work as well of MVP defender Jasmine Ayala, and they'll return for a shot at the repeat, and we show you how they were able to get there, knocking off perennial power Lindsey Wilson by a score of 2-1 in the semifinals before facing Westmont from California and getting the clean sheet and their first ever NAIA National Championship on the women's side. We welcome you back here to the Continental Tire Studios. Dean Linke along with Kyle Straub, and Grant Landy was working at it, finally got it done for Concordia.
The saying goes, third time's the charm. Concordia, it took the 4th time, but they got it done in that 4th time, bringing home the first ever national championship to their school.
Let's take a look at the impressive credentials of the head coach of Concordia from Oregon, Grant Landy. You see it right there. He also won the NSCAA Coach of the Year, 18 phenomenal seasons. And check out that number, 311 wins and counting. He is indeed a legend at Concordia, and he's got a great player to lean on. Jasmine Ayala, the great defender, the senior now from Simi Valley, California. She was the 2013 NAIA Championship MVP. And guess what? We caught up with Coach Landy and Jasmine Ayala.
All right, we are here with Concordia University head coach Grant Landy and senior defender Ayala. First off, Coach Landy, 2013 brought you an NSCAA Coach of the Year award and a national championship. Talk about the overall experience.
Well, it was a great experience, obviously. It's something you work toward as a coach and as a team, and to finally get that accomplishment meant a lot to our players and a lot to our university. Looking back on it now, I've been away from it for a while. I really appreciate just all the time and effort that players put in and how hard it is to do it, really. Everything just came together for us last year. It was great.
All right. And Jasmine, you returned for your senior season after winning the tournament MVP at the national championships. Talk about the run you guys made last year and the preparation you guys are making for 2014.
Well, last year was amazing. We just put a lot of hard work and it really paid off. It showed, and that was great. And just winning the award was just, I was more excited about the whole national tournament award rather than the MVP. And just for this next year, it was great winning the national tournament, but we're putting that behind us and now looking for this year and working hard.
All right, Coach Landy, it's never easy to repeat. Talk about the team you will be returning in 2014.
Yeah, I like this group. You know, good experience from that team from last year. About 20 players from that group, so I think they know what it takes. But we're really just trying to take it one step at a time. Added some strong newcomers, and so the first part of the season for us is just trying to figure out what type of team we're going to be and who our leaders are, and finding out positionally where players go. And so we're just taking it one step at a time.
And finally, Jasmine, this is your senior season. You've been here for 4 years. Talk about your time with Concordia and what makes this team so special.
My time at Concordia has been amazing. I've loved the time here at school and also with the soccer experience. Every year there's been struggles, but it's just great. It has made me enjoy every moment more.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Got to be happy for Coach Landy, Kyle, and you got to like their chances to repeat.
You got to like their chances, but it's one of the toughest things in sports to do, to win back-to-back championships. But when you have an All-American like Ayala coming back, it greatly increases your chances.
All right, let's take a look here now at the top 25 for NAIA women. And you see there the #1 ranking for Concordia marks the 7th straight poll. The Cavaliers have found themselves atop the rankings dating back to October 22nd a year ago. And it's the first time since 1999 that the school has started the season in the #1 position, as Concordia has begun the year ranked 2nd on 2 occasions. The Cavaliers turn their attention to a 15th consecutive Cascade Collegiate Conference Championship and 14 straight trips to the National Championship.
Dean, coming in at #2, the Westmont Warriors head coach Christy Keeley. I'm telling you, nothing will motivate a player or a team more than losing in the championship game. The Warriors have used that loss as motivation all off season, and they'll look to NAIA All-American Tiffany DeMcCulligan and NAIA Tournament Outstanding Defensive Player Sophie Fuller to help them bring home a national title this year. At #3, Drew Bourgeois and the Blue Raiders are adding to the longest active streak in the top 25 as Lindsey Wilson come in at #3, marking the 164th consecutive week being ranked. And even more impressively, it's the 134th consecutive week that they're in the top 10 of the rankings. Last season, they went 21-4, reached the national semifinals. This year, they're picked to win the Mid-South Conference, and the Blue Raiders will be led by NAIA first-team All-American Ayaka Shanida. #8, you're looking at Cumberland Bulldogs. Head coach Gavin McKinney enters his 5th season at the helm for the Bulldogs. The past 2 years have been particularly impressive as they've compiled 35 wins. They have high hopes for this season and should be strong offensively, with 7 of their top 8 scorers returning, including Mid-South Conference Player of the Year Taylor Ney and freshman All-American Olivia Chu.
And Kyle, I know you also like Robert Morris at #10.
Last year, the Eagles started the season ranked 20th, but they put together a 15-5-1 record, advanced all the way to the national championship quarterfinals. This year, they're going to look for contributions from newcomers, as they lost 6 seniors who combined for 45 of the 67 goals.
Before we flip the chart, your coaches for the top 5: Concordia, Grant Landy, Westmont, Kristen Keeley. Who are the coaches for the other 3?
Lindsey Wilson, I mentioned. Drew Burwash. Northwood, you have Dean Pappas. And Concordia of California, you have Chris Gould.
All right, let's take a look now at 11 through 20 NAIA women.
Right off the bat, St. Thomas comes in at #11. Last year, they won the Sun Conference Tournament with the 2013 TSC Coach of the Year, Michelle Smith, leading the way. The Bobcats will look to rely on midfielder Zelda Yagrid to improve on a season in which they lost just 1 conference game. They were knocked out in the national championship tournament by eventual champion Concordia last year. At 14, you see Spring Arbor. After going 18-3-1 last year, the Cougars are in the top 25 for the 4th consecutive year. Winners of the Crossroad League last year, they returned 8 starters, including Corey Gold, Sarah Yanser, and yet last year's Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Courtney Harrison. On top of that, you look at 15, where last year Cal State San Marcos had a 12-6-1 record, and they upset the Masters College in the NAIA opening round. This year, the Cougars will look to build on that success. They do have to deal with a change at head coach position, as Ron Pulvers will now exclusively coach the men's team at the school, but the transition shouldn't be that too difficult, as we talked about with a couple other coaching changes, as longtime assistant Bobby Reinstein will take over. And my last team I'm going to highlight in the top 25, coming in at 19, Our Lady of the Lake. After a disappointing loss to William Carey in the first round of the NAIA tournament last year, the Saints will look to rebound and defend their first ever Red River Conference championship. A big part of their success this season will depend on senior Stephanie Diaz, as she hopes to end her college career, as she put it, quote, with a bang.
Great stuff, Kyle. The final five here for NAIA women led by St. Ambrose, the Fighting Bees.
The Fighting Bees, a team that could significantly move up in the rankings. I have them as the team that could make the biggest jump by the end of the year. The Fighting Bees return every defensive starter from a team that recorded 13 shutouts last year. Pair that with a group of young but very talented attackers, and St. Ambrose could be in store for a very strong season.
Great top 25 here for NAIA women. When we come back, we'll take a look at an exciting broadcast schedule right here on NSCAA TV. College soccer has started, and we've got you covered.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at NAIA.org.
You watch the match live. You road trip to the away games. You rise and fall with every run. Above all, you live your love of the game. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires and improve your grip with extreme contact traction.
Continental Tire, for what you do.
The NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to go on.
Super excited.
Pretty excited.
Oh, super excited, yes. Now I'm excited to just be a part of it and experience it all, take it all in.
More than 40 college soccer games will be broadcast on NSCAA TV, including a very impressive list of NAIA games of the week presented by Turbo Sports. Georgia Gwinnett will be in Atlanta taking on Northwood for both men and women. Then you got Hastings and Kansas Wesleyan, Benedictine and Baker, also a part of the schedule. But then we'll also take a look at the Division I schedule, an impressive 20-game package put together by Rob Keogh, the Director of College Soccer Programs for the NSCAA. We'll be out in Utah Valley, Orem, Utah, to kick things off next weekend, Saturday, August 30th for Utah Valley and UMass. Then we'll head to Morgantown for West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Maryland, UMBC. How about Louisville and Duke? A little later on, though, you've got William & Mary in North Carolina.
North Carolina, a team that last year lost a lot of players from a team that had won a national championship. Hey, had some injuries. They got some of those injured players back in Rob Lovejoy, Andy Craven, and then you look at some of the freshmen that they brought in. Wynn is an offensive threat for them. The more that he plays, the better he's going to get. And then a secret little one on them, they brought in two transfers, the Hume twins. They're real big, 6'5". They're going to be dangerous on set plays for the Tar Heels.
On 4 days later in Santa Barbara, there could be nearly 20,000 people there for UCSB and UCLA. Charlie Slagle thinks the Bruins could win a national championship, and then we'll be in High Point for High Point and UNC Asheville. More men's broadcast as well as part of the NSCAA TV schedule. In-state rivalry between Bucknell and Penn State. We mentioned CSU Bakersfield. Remember now, Jerry Cleary is now the assistant coach at CSU Bakersfield. You've got George Mason, Virginia. The Cavaliers are always very good, Kyle.
Cavaliers are always very good, and George Mason is a solid team. That game is going to be real fun to watch. I would like to be able to get away to get out there to see that one.
Ray Reed in UConn, Tom McIntosh in Tulsa, and then you got Jared Embrick in Akron, Marlon LeBlanc in West Virginia. Those are the men's broadcasts. We also have some great women's games, including Florida State taking on UConn. Of course, Florida State finishing second last year in a race for the national championship.
Florida State playing in the ACC, and on women's soccer, it is such a tough conference. And for them to finish second last year, I look for them to really impress, compete for a national championship this season.
Then you got that matchup between UVA and Tennessee. Great non-conference matchup.
UVA, another team that comes out of the ACC, but Tennessee out of the SEC. They've really come on, especially the last few years as a competitor. That one's going to be a very interesting game to see coming September 12th.
West Virginia, Nikki Izzo Brown, Texas Tech, Tom Stone, two of the best coaches in women's soccer. And then we round it out with a Mid-American Conference matchup between Ohio U and Miami, Ohio. We're not done, though. We also have D2 games here as part of the game of the week. A lot of great games. Barry down in Miami rounding out the D2 schedule. They are always in the search, men and women, for a national championship.
Always in the search, and when there's teams that are always in the search, it always adds a bit of interest. You want to see those teams that are always competing, and they're going against a really good team there in Florida Southern.
All right, and we finally have some Division III games as well here. 3 of them, including Ohio Wesleyan and Ohio Northern, legendary coaches. That game we played just outside Columbus, Ohio. That in-state derby is always a fantastic matchup.
That's my favorite, is when you have in-state foes going against each other, because it's next-door neighbors that one day can be having dinner together, the next day you go to a soccer game and you're at each other's throats because you don't like the other person's team.
We welcome you back here to the Continental Tire Studios in Chapel Hill. Dean Linke along with Kyle Straub. And Kyle, the NAIA, both at the men and women's level, so great for the student athletes.
I mean, it really is. You would take these kids and you give them an education, but you also allow them to play the game they love, and you allow them to play the game they love at a highly competitive level. And you're getting an education while you do it. You really can't beat it. They get to travel the country while they do it. It's a great organization.
Great insight, Kyle. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Dean.
Pleasure. Hope to see him later on in the season. So many people to thank here for helping us put together this show for NSCAA TV. As we roll the credits there, of course, our great staff out in Kansas City with Joe Cummings and Chris Bird, Christine Mason, Rob Kehoe, Kathleen Hermish getting it done with the graphics. Our crew here, Kyle Lang, Taylor Hoggard, as well as UNC New Media. I've got to thank the great people from the NAIA staff also out in Kansas City, especially Chad Waller and Mike DeVader, providing us all this great information. And we thank the coaches for the national championship teams as well. Of course, we couldn't get it done without the good folks of Continental Tire. Continental Tire, the proud presenting sponsor of NSCAA TV. For my broadcast partner, Kyle Straub, I'm Dean Linke saying thank you for watching NSCAA TV.